It is finally time to talk about the update from Catrice for fall 2025. I have made up my mind about these products, how I feel about them. I also did a bunch of shorts. I also did a try on haul. If you want to see more about these, I'm gonna try and insert as many swatches and as many applications as possible. Let's get into this new makeup. Alright, so I feel like overall this was a very successful update. I have tried a lot of things that I really liked. There are a few things that I do have a few notes on that I maybe didn't love as much, but I also have some really good favorites in this update. Okay, so let's start out with something that I thought was just like, okay, it was so. I can definitely live with this, but it's not my new favorite. So this is the Butter Like Bronze and Contour Palette. You have two shades in this little face palette, and honestly, I was kind of hoping that these would be creams, but they are powders. And by the way, I have the lighter shade. This is 010 Born to Shape, and we have a more cool tone powder and a little bit more of a warm tone powder. I don't know what it is about this one, but I just never feel as I'm applying it that it is as effortless and as beautiful and as magnificent as I was kind of hoping it to be. My cat is coming, I can hear him. So I feel like it's always just a little bit more difficult to apply, and it just doesn't look as perfecting as I'm kind of like hoping it will do, like it will be. Maybe it's a little bit too dark for me. Well, this one I would think would work on me, but I just always feel like it looks okay, it applies okay. I'm not head over heels with this, and usually I do like a lot of Catrice bronzers, and there are a lot of bronzers from them that I really love. So this was a little bit of a disappointment because of that as well, because I feel like they can really do it, but I still feel like some people could really enjoy this. Maybe if you have a little bit of a different skin type than I do have dry skin, and that sometimes also changes the way products apply and what I'm kind of expecting from them. Then something that I didn't in the end post my short on is this Catrice Bold Magnetic Nail Polish. I did film the short, but it was super yellow because I was just playing around with a way to film that. It didn't really fully work. I will probably insert it here anyway, but I just didn't feel like it was the best clip. But maybe in the end I will be able to kind of color correct it. But this is a magnetic nail polish by Catrice. I believe they haven't done those before, and there are multiple shades. This is the shade 010 Love at First Pull. So the thing with this is, I feel like this is a really beautiful metallic nail polish. It looks really beautiful. It applied really nicely. It did last well. I just felt like the magnetic in this wasn't like super strong, but this is also like a 3-4 euro nail polish. And my favorite magnetics, they are like 16 euros, something like that, 15-16 euros. So I would expect a little bit of a difference. I don't think this is a bad nail polish, but you just shouldn't expect like Hotaku quality. That is not what this is. But it's cute. Then something that I did really enjoy were these soft Glam baked blushes. I have two shades. I did buy the shade Midnight Berry first, and then I also bought the shade 010 on Cloud Pink. I could have guessed that I would really love this formula because I also really love the baked glowy blushes by Rare Beauty that these are based on. Those are also some of my favorite blushes in my collection. I feel like these are very similar to that for sure. Very smooth, but very glowy, very metallic. These, just like the Rare Beauty ones, are just very glowy. You have to like a very glowy, almost too glowy, almost metallic blush, so you have to like that. The thing was with this shade 040 Midnight Berry, the reason why I bought another blush, why I bought the pink one, this one has kind of like a purpley undertone, and if I apply enough of this to really make it look like a blush, it kind of looks like a bruise on me. I feel like this doesn't suit my skin tone fully. So then I bought the pink one, and I love the shade. This is such a good shade. I just love how this looks on the skin. It will emphasize a little bit of texture. That's the case with all very glowy products, so keep that in mind. But this is just a really beautiful blush topper. You can use it on its own as well. It has enough pigment for that. This is just stunning. I feel like this it's probably gonna be your favorite. It does have a little bit of a crack in it. I'm a little scared that is gonna crack further, but so far so good. I'm not gonna travel with these. I think if you have a little bit of a deeper skin tone and you have a cooler undertone than I do, then this Midnight Berry could be really cute. They also have some warmer shades, but it didn't really look like my kind of shade. Alright, something that I thought was okay is this Catrice Color Cushion Juicy Lip Oil. This is with this kind of like sponge packaging, sponge applicator. The color that I got was actually really cute. This is kind of like a cooler toned nude. This is 050 Drenched Drama. I feel like this looks really nice on the lips. It doesn't sink into my lip lines. It doesn't look weird. It's just a little bit too thin. And for me, really thin lip products with my dry lips, they just don't, usually, there are some exceptions, but usually they don't hydrate my lips enough for long enough, especially for this type of product. Like, I expect something specific from this type of product. Semi-long wear with hydration, and that is just not what this gave. I do think that if your lips aren't as dry, not that mine are like super dry right now, they're kind of like normal to dry, which I'm very happy about, but I just like hydration. I just love the feel of that. I feel like if you don't mind reapplying your lip product, if your lips aren't as dry, you might still like this because it does look really cute on the lips. These new duos by Catrice I actually think are really cute. I was thinking about buying another one. I didn't do it in the end, but I might do it eventually. But this is the new Diamond Treasures Cream to Powder Eyeshadow Duo, and I got it in shade 010 Hazel Spark. So this is kind of like grayish, greenish, a little taupey. This is really cute. I didn't like the smaller eyeshadow palettes that they came out with, I believe, in the spring. Those I felt were very unpigmented, very powdery, very lackluster. I didn't like the shimmers in those. I think this is really nice and makes a lot of sense for the point that we're at with makeup trends right now. I feel like this is something that a lot of people could enjoy. We have this really shimmery topper shade, which is stunning. And then we have this kind of like putty, kind of like blurring matte-esque shade for in the crease. Like, this is a very simple go-to look, very easy to apply, very easy to use, very easy to throw in your like makeup bag and travel with it, or just apply it very quickly in the morning. This is a good formula. I do feel like this one, this matte one, it's a little bit on the softer side. It's for a softer look, but it's not that I would say that it is bad. It's not that you can't build it up. It is really cute, and I really love the formula of this topper shade. I would love to see more. And this once again shows me that Catrice can definitely do good eyeshadows, but sometimes they just kind of miss the mark. I don't know where, I don't know how that happens, because they do have really good eyeshadow formulas. They can do it. This is a beautiful topper. Then we have this Diamond Glaze Gloss Stick, and I had the same issue with this as with that Color Cushion Juicy Lip Oil. So I once again got a really pretty shade. This is, what was this called? 010 No Glitter No Glory. By the way, this does have a little bit of a glitter in it. It's kind of like a glittery lip balm. This is kind of like a rosy nude almost. It's very cute. It looks really beautiful on the lips. Honestly, it is stunning. It is gorgeous, just like that Juicy Lip Oil. It's just a little bit thin, and because of that it disappears off the lips really quickly, and I just have other lip products that are sort of like this that lasts a lot longer. I kind of feel like I do have a bunch of kind of like so-so products here. The more that I'm talking about it and seeing everything together, I do have a bunch of so-so products, but I also have a few that I really love, that really impress me, that I'm just super excited about. So hold on tight for that. So this is the Pillow-like Matte Lip Mousse, and I thought this could go like either way. I wanted to try it out. I was excited to see what this was going to be like, because there is this formula, this moussey formula by ABH that I do really love. It's like one of my favorite liquid lipstick formulas, and I was kind of hoping that it was going to be that. But I've also tried moussey lip formulas that weren't for me at all, like the Romand ones. Those were like super dry looking and even looking on my lips. It's just not always for me. I just have lips with a bit of texture, and that just shows a lot. And I feel like with this kind of formula, when you first apply it, it feels very plushy, it feels very nice, but it wears off pretty quickly. And then you have this kind of like dried in layer left, and that is just a little bit too dry for me. And I just feel like the ABH ones, they really stay on. That hydration stays on without it being like super smeary on or anything like that. So this was just not exactly it for my dry lips. Like, I kind of liked it at first. It also isn't like full pigment, which is what I kind of prefer with these matte blurry lip products. I do want it to be full pigment, so it's kind of like medium pigment. And then I feel like in the end it's a little bit too dry. And I did try that in like the summer, like in August, I think. So my lips were definitely not dry then. Then the Shine Balm, I just really love. What can I say about it? It's not a new product to me. Alright, this is a really interesting product. This is the Catrice Aura Glam Balm Highlighter, and I gotta say, this is really nice. So this is in a Swirl of Rose, and it's just a really interesting product because it feels very like balmy. As you put your finger in to apply, it feels very, very balmy, but I feel like because it's very thin, it's a really, really thin formula, it does not feel too thick and sticky on the cheeks. I feel like it blends in really nicely, not just speaking of the pigment, but also just the way it feels on the skin. It isn't like this super sticky balmy thing, which I kind of was expecting this to be. It's not very sticky. We do have a little bit of a shimmer here, but I feel like it's very subtle. It gives kind of like this wet look to the cheeks, which is very beautiful. If you look really up close, you do have a little bit of purple shimmer, you do have a little bit of blue shimmer, but it is very subtle. So I don't think that I would call this a colored highlighter. It's not really that, but there's a little something extra in there. I think this is really beautiful for a more like shimmery, not exactly chunky glittery, but a little bit more of a shimmery highlight. I think this is like one of my favorites in that category because it has this beautiful wet look and it gives you that balmy sheen without actually being sticky, which is something that I haven't really seen like this. Like, I feel like usually balmy highlighters are just a little bit thicker, and I don't really mind that because my skin kind of like sucks up that moisture because I have drier skin. But this is great. I think people with like normal to oily skin could maybe get away with this one as well. Cannot say it for sure, of course, until someone has actually tried that and told me. But I have a feeling like this for a balmy highlighter is very manageable. Then they also came out with the glass-like highlighter stick. And this is a glassy, creamy, kind of balmy highlighter stick. It is really beautiful. It's a little bit more natural. It doesn't have that bluish purplish shimmer that the other one has. This one is a little bit more like thick though. It's a little bit more creamy. It doesn't dry down as much as this other highlighter, but it does have, my cat is calling me, but the door is open, so I'm not gonna get up and get him. He can come to me. So this is glassy. It's balmy, but it does have a little bit of mica. It does have a little bit of shimmer in it. You do see kind of like that highlight color in this as well. Sometimes you have these balmy highlights and it's kind of just like sheer. It's clear. This does have a little bit of mica in it as well, which makes it really beautiful. I do think this is really nice, but funnily enough, the Balm highlighter was less sticky than this one. Another eye product. This is a Drunken Diamonds eyeshadow stick, and this is a metallic eyeshadow stick, and I've really been enjoying eyeshadow sticks in general from different brands. I just think they are amazing. They are beautiful. They are my favorite way to top a look off with a little bit of shimmer. This one isn't really shimmery though. This is like a metallic. For me, this is more something to use in the inner corner to add a little bit of a metallic pop, but it's not like that shimmer where you want to use it as a topper. I think this is a beautiful formula. It is something that does dry down, but it gives you some time to manipulate it, gives you some time to blend it out, which I do really love. Like sometimes with these kind of like gel to powder kind of formulas, it dries down a little bit too quickly. This is really easy to use, really easy to work with, really beautiful. But I do have to say, for me personally, I'm a little bit more into the shimmery ones that they did come out with in the Era of Senses collection. So if you want to see something like this from Catrice, but with a little bit more shimmer, you can watch that video. They're really beautiful. Then I also tried a bunch of the Endless Matte liquid lipsticks. I do have a video like sharing more thoughts, doing the lip swatches. I also have a short, so that is what I will put up like somewhere around here. So the thing with these Endless Matte liquid lipsticks is that I feel like it's a little bit of a dated formula. These are not sticky anymore. The old liquid lipsticks from Catrice, they were a little bit sticky. They were very smooth, very beautiful colors and looked amazing on lips, but there was a little bit of stick to it. Didn't make them last very long, but I can imagine that some people didn't really love that formula because of that. So they came out with this new range. By the way, I saw them in Kruidvat in the Netherlands already, like in stores. So if you're interested in this, I did see it in stores. Like if you want to see the shades in real life. The thing with these is they are very liquidy, then they dry down fully, but it's really like this powdery feel. And that is a little bit uncomfortable. It's not the longest wearing in the world. Like it can flake off a little bit because it's so powdery. It's like no transfer, but it's also a little bit like dryness prone, like crack prone. And that is not my absolute favorite. So I was kind of thinking, how do I wear these? Because I do really love the colors that there are in these, and it is a very affordable line, and I do love Catrice. And there are just a few shades here that I want to make work. But of course, keep in mind that these on their own, they are a little bit drying. So they might not be perfect for you if you are someone who doesn't like a drying liquid lipstick at all or you have dry lips. But I found these to work really well with a bit of a lip balm underneath. Not a thick layer of lip balm, but just as you are getting ready, apply a bit of lip balm, and then right before you apply your liquid lipstick, just make sure that you pat that off a little bit. Then apply the liquid lipstick on top. I feel like it looked much more smooth, much less dry, and it did last long still. Like, it was still a very long lasting lip product, but there was just a little bit of transfer to it, which I didn't mind. It kind of transformed it into something like the Lunar Beauty liquid lipsticks. It just made it a little bit more comfortable, still long wearing, because I didn't apply like a thick layer of lip balm, and I could just wear that for a couple of hours without my lips feeling dry. So I actually really did like that option, but not in every aspect they have improved their lip formula, their liquid lip formula, in comparison to the last formula that they had, because that was just so smooth. Like, they didn't do that with this, unless you do like the lip balm trick and you kind of apply it a little differently. I feel like that formula and this formula, I feel like those two formulas, they kind of should have a baby, and then that baby should be a little bit more hydrating, and then that would be my perfect liquid lip formula. But yeah, I do really like the shades that we have in here. And then something that I love, like, these have really blown me away. These are the Gloss Obsessed lip glazes, and I really thought when they announced the new update, I really thought, well, that looks like a lip gloss we have seen from Catrice over the years many times over. Kind of felt like something they could have come out with like 10 years ago. But I ate my words. These are so nice, so nourishing, so glossy. I love the colors. I love the amount of pigmentation. They are beautiful. I really love these glosses. As I said so much, I just think that these are so nice and kind of like balmy in a way. They have a slight like vanilla scent, very sophisticated, nothing too offensive. I think, yes. This packaging is a little bit basic, but the colors are beautiful. It looks amazing on the lips. I also have some lip swatches of this. I have a dedicated video because I enjoyed this so much. I just love this gloss formula so much. It makes me think a little bit of the glosses, the Glass and Color glosses from Romand in a way, because they are also this cream gloss that feels very nourishing and hydrating, but still has that glossiness to it. I just think these are really cute. Then another thing, why are there so many cat hairs on this? Okay. Then another thing that I really enjoyed is this Blur Balm blush palette. So they had this face palette, I think with some blushes and bronzers. When did they come out with that? Like 2 years ago maybe. I didn't love that one. For some reason it just sat in my pores so weirdly, but this one is amazing. I love the cream formula in here. I feel like it's very like plump looking. It's not too glowy, it's not too overdone, it's not sticky, it's not too much, but it just looks amazing. It's really easy to work with. It is just beautiful and natural looking, and it gives a beautiful flush. I do love all the colors in here. I feel like they are just very easy for me to use and just kind of like mix and match. We also have a highlighter here that's a little bit more on the balmy side, and I just kind of like mix these things together. And I've just really been enjoying this palette. I feel like it's just such an effortless cream formula. Like, it's not too sticky, it's not too pigmented, it's just very easy to use. And then I hope I'm not forgetting anything in this video. I don't think I am. Like, I kept everything together in a box. I think we're good. So this last thing is the Blend and Bond setting spray. And this one, I really like the formula of, but if you don't shake this very well, then you will get like splotches on your face. The first few times that I used this, I got these splotches on my face, but then as I really went in with the shaking of this one, it was a lot better. The thing that I really personally like about this one is that it is fragrance free, it's alcohol free, it's just a very mild formula, and it just kind of like melts the makeup together. It's nothing too crazy, it's nothing that feels tight or weird, which is something that I sometimes dislike. And it's also not overly glowy, there's no mica in this. This is just a very easy, effortless spray. If you have sensitive skin, you don't want all of those like drying things on your face, or if you are allergic to perfume like I am. I feel like this formula is very on par with the Pretty Fresh setting spray from Colourpop, but this spray is just a little bit better. The formula of this is nice. I just feel like they could have made this spray a little bit more fine. Like, it shouldn't be necessary to shake this bottle for 5 minutes to be able to spray it on your face, but I'm probably still gonna be using this, but not as much as the Colourpop one. Alright, that's gonna be it for this update. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you've tried any of these products, and then I'll see you in my next video. Bye!